I'm free. There's no more chains holding me. Walked in the blood. I'm clean. I thank the Lord. Victory. Victory. You know I got it. I got it. Victory, victory. You know I got it. I got it. Oh yeah, I got it. 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 A new day. I'm free. There's no more changes holding me. Walked in the blood. I'm clean. I thank the Lord. Victory. You know I got it. I got it. Victory. Victory. You know I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Oh yeah, I got it. I got it. I got it. Woo. Amen. Let the church say amen. Amen. I got it. And it's a blessing to know that you have him. It is better to know that he have you. Amen. I got it. Tell your neighbor, I got it. I don't care what you think. I got it. Amen. I thank God for these preachers who is on the battlefield every day of their life for the Lord thy God, and to the officers, deacons, and mothers of this church. Amen. I'm not worried about her. Amen. She can have anything she wants. Amen. 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 Just a blessing to be here. be a part of this great movement that we are involved in as the body of Christ. There's a word that comes to us from the first book of Joshua. The first book of Joshua. And I want to start at that 10th verse of the first chapter of Joshua. Let me back up to verse 9. And it says, have not I commanded thee, be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, wheresoever thou goest. Then Joshua commanded the officer of the people, saying, pass through the host, and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. Shante, I want to preach from the subject, it is time to move. It is time to move. In our text today, we find a group of people who have once been slaves in Egypt. They have been set free and divinely, hear me now, chosen by God. I said divinely chosen by God. Someplace in the Bible it says they became the apple of God's eye. They had been led by Moses for 40 years. During that time of their wilderness experience, God had provided for them, gave them manna from heaven, gave them clothes to wear, shoes on their feet. For 40 years, Brother Nate, they didn't have anything to worry about. God provided everything they needed. And now, after the death of Moses, Brother Charlie, they are about to enter the promised land. See this, see this, see this, see this. God tells them, surely I was with Moses, and now I will be with you. That's a good thing. That's a good word. To know wherever you are in life, God is with you. And now he tells them, Don't be afraid. Don't be disturbed when you encounter opposition in the promised land. Some things you got to rely on God for. Oh, yes, yes, yes. God will help you if you are willing to stand on his word. Now, remember, I didn't say if you help yourself. Because a lot of times God help us when we don't help ourselves. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Church, I would like to sermonically suggest to you today, as we listen to this text, there is a word for you and a word for me. Allow me to say this to you. No matter where you are in life or who you are, James, this is your day to be blessed. Oh, somebody missed that. I said, this is your day to be blessed. But Sister Yolanda, but you have got to determine in your heart, in your mind, with all your being, that you're going to step out on faith and take your place in this world. I said you got to step out on faith and don't be afraid, because this is not a day of fear and doubt. It's a day of courage and action. This sermon is for those of you who are standing at the edge of your wilderness and about to step in to your promised land. Tell your neighbor, neighbor, I'm about to walk in my season. Surely this is your moment and time, and you should seize it. There are those of you who are drawing interest on an old past account in life that you need to close and open up a new account that is drawn on the future. Old folks will tell you, Margaret, let sleeping dogs lie. God is challenging you today to face the reality of the present so that you will be prepared for your season. Regardless of who you are, man, woman, boy, or girl, God is preparing you today for you to start walking in your season. And one thing you got to understand, when God say it's time for you to move, that's all the clearance that you need to move forward with God's plan for your life. By stepping out on faith, stretching out on his word. There is somebody in the house today who knows that this text have been tailored just for you. I said this sermon has been designed just for you, because you're standing on the bridge between your present and your future. You've had some difficult days. You have experienced some sleepless nights. You have encountered some mean-spirited folks. You have crossed the Red Sea, come through your wilderness. Finally, you're on the threshold and all that God has for you. But God got a word for you. Regardless of what you've been through, it is your season to be blessed. Like God is saying to the people of Israel in the text and to us, I know that things look bad. You don't know what the future holds, but you ought to know that I hold the future in my hands. The economy is on the rope, but you ought to know that I feed the sparrow, and I can feed you. You ought to know that I took 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. I opened up a fish market in the desert. I opened up a bakery in the desert and fed 5,000. And I never made a mouth that I couldn't feed. Don't ever doubt what I can do. Yes, it looks bad, but I hold the future in the palm of my hand. I can provide for you and your family. But the thing that hurts me, they don't seem to appreciate anything that I do for them. I said, all hell is breaking loose. Like Clarence Carter said, I feel like I'm holding the world on my shoulder. But I tell you one thing, church, the load get heavy. The hills get hard to climb, Maryland. I said the hills get hard to climb. But one thing I know, God will give you the strength not to go around, but to speak to your situation. Won't he do it? Have any of us ever had to speak to a situation that we're going through? Don't let stuff bother you. I'm still in control. If I move when God moves, God will give me the green light and direction that he wants me to go. He has always made a way for me. Have he made a way for you? God will. I said God will make a way out of no way. He always been there for me. Even when I didn't see him, he has been present in my life. Yes, Savannah, I had a stroke 4 years ago, but look at me now. God is able to bring you out more than a conqueror. Yes, he will. How many of you know he will? Just trust and lean on God. He's a God who won't fail you. He's a God who won't let you down. He's able. How many know he's able? Why don't you raise your hand? Tell your neighbor. I should have at least 3 witnesses in the house who can say, I know what God can do. I said, I know what God can do. And I think I just give somebody a high five because I know what God will do. Look at our text. God said, cross over this Jordan into the land that I have given to you. Now watch this. He said, Brandon, the land that I have given to you. In other words, all you have to do is possess it. We are fighting for stuff that God have already given us. I'm a witness that God will give you some stuff, and folks will be wondering, how did you get it? Can I keep it real? I don't care how smart you are or good looking you might be. You're not the only one who wants that job, that degree, to get rich, want that man, and looking at that woman. There are other folks who want what you want. But what God has for you, I said God has for you, is for you. That's why you must move when God say move. God wants to give you some stuff. But you got to recognize Albert is on the other side of the Jordan. I said the other side. Not this side, but the other side. I didn't understand it, but I have learned that some of my greatest blessings in life have come after I come through some of my most difficult trials in life. Look what the text says. I'm giving you the land. Some of you missed that. I said God is giving it to you. And watch this. He said every place your foot touches, I'm going to give you that land. Every place that your foot touches shall be yours. All you got to do is walk in your season. If you want that job, I don't care if you don't have no experience, God will give it to you. When you want that promotion and everybody else is sticking you in the back, God will give it to you. When you walk in the floor all night studying and others are sleeping and you want that degree, God will give it to you. But you got to live your life like you're expecting God to do something in your life. Are you going to pray with me? I don't know about you. I'm walking in my season like I am expecting something from God. And I really don't give a flying flip how you feel about it, because I ain't asking you for nothing. I'm dependent on God. If you want to walk in your season and want what God has promised you, you got to walk and look like you're expecting what God has promised you. If you want a job, look like you want a job. Get up and go looking for a job. If you want a husband or a wife, then start looking like somebody that somebody we want to be with. If you want to be successful, start dressing like somebody who's already successful. Everything that you put your foot on, God is going to give you. But in order for this to happen, you got to be strong. I said you got to be strong. You can't go around in life afraid of what folks might think or say about you or even try to do to you. You have to know that God, I said God is with you, and that you're more than a conqueror. He's more than the world against you. God is telling you today, it's your season, your time. God has already provided everything you need. God is already making a way out of no way. God is already opening doors for you. Not tomorrow, not next week, or even next month. I'm talking about right now, because there is a God who rules above with hands of power and heart of love. And if I am right, he will. I said he will fight my battles. I said he shall give me peace, 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 peace. One day he'll give you peace. Anybody here know that he will? He will. I said he will bless you. How many of you know you're blessed? How many of you know he's been good? He's been good to you. Just keep on moving toward the prize. God is able. I said God is able. He's able to give you what you need, when you need it, and where you need it. He is a mighty God. And he won't fail you. Folks will let you down. But God, Yolanda, will never forsake you or leave you. And that's a good thing to know. Marilyn, you could be in the valley. God will be in the valley with you, Johnny.
Yes, he will.
He got a blessing in store, Linda, for each and every one of us. All you have to do is be willing, Sean, to accept what God has for you. Albert sung, I'm walking in my season. I don't know how many more seasons you or I got. But today is a brand new day. I said today is a brand new day, Denise, and he got mercies abundant. Every morning, he got some new mercies for us. Oh, yes, he has. Not those stale, day-old mercies. He got some new mercy for us every day of our life. Go ahead and sing it. The doors of the church is open.
Doors of the church are now open. I guess it'd be approximately 150 people in here today.